And then I will call for a restricted session, ministers only, in order to discuss what has happened in the last weeks, from the visits to Moscow, to Kyiv, and to Peking from Prime Minister Orban, and the speeches at the United Nations Security Council from his foreign minister, accusing the European Union to be the country or the union that pushes for war. This is completely unacceptable. The European Union is supporting Ukraine and willing to finish this war on the basis of the United Nations Charter. We will discuss about how member states evaluate this position by a country who is at the same time the rotatory presidency of the European Union. The European Union is not pushing for war. It's not in the war side. It's in the war defending Ukraine in front of an aggression. Secondly, we'll discuss about the situation in the Middle East. The big news is the advisory opinion issued by the International Court of Justice on Friday, stating clearly the position that the European Union has always supported, that the occupation of the West Bank, the Palestinian territories in the West Bank, is fully illegal, and it has to stop. Yes, it's an advisory opinion, but it is International Court of Justice, the highest legal body of the United Nations, with a very clear message. They stated this is illegal. It has to stop. Israel has to withdraw the settles. The answer from the Netanyahu government came immediately, saying, no, this is our land. Historical reasons. Well, you can interpret history whatever you want, but we are talking about international law. And if we respect international law, and if we claim every day that we are abiding by international law, we have to discuss what do we do now. Which are the consequences of this opinion of the court? How the European Union is going to take this decision, this opinion, inside our policy with respect to the Middle East. It's not in one side history and in the other side international law. Unhappily, it has never been such a big difference between international law and reality in the ground. What do we see in Gaza? Is a humanitarian catastrophe, man-made, of unbearable dimensions. 17,000 orphans, almost 40,000 people being killed. In order to rebuild Gaza, it will need 10 years of taking rubble out. And unhappily, the ceasefire that President Biden has been proposing doesn't come. And Imperial support is still stalled. And the difference between what the law says, according with the ICC, and what's happening in the ground has never been as big as today. And the courts are coming to take the vacuum of the politics. Politics has been unable to look for a solution. But the court is not there to implement their opinions. Opinions has to be implemented by the political powers. And the European Union has a special responsibility in this issue. So I will put on the table again whatever we can do, apart from saying that we support International Court of Justice and we ask the Israelis to not continue settlements, apart from saying what we can do. I distributed a report done by our U.S. Special Representative for Human Rights, which is a compilation of everything that has been said by United Nations, international organizations, about how this war has been happening and which are their consequences, the humanitarian consequences. It's a compilation of all the assessments explaining all the circumstances that we can regret a lot, but we have to know and take stock of it. This will be a good basis to prepare the Association Council with Israel. I distributed a tentative agenda to the member states. This cannot be an association council business as usual, because business are not as usual. As far as the war continues, it's risking to spill over in the region. We are facing a catastrophic situation. So yes, we have to talk about bilateral relations, but we have to talk about what's going on in Gaza and in the West Bank. We have to talk about the economic asphyxia of the Palestinian Authority by cutting the tax revenues that Israel is doing. We have to talk about the extension of the settlements. We have to talk about how humanitarian support is not entering into Gaza. But for that, I need a unanimous agreement of member states about our common position to go to this association council. It's not for tomorrow. Anyway, this association council will be chaired on the European Union side by the High Representative, not by the rotatory presidency. It's important that Israel government, and in particular the Minister of Foreign Affairs, knows how does it work. So this is today an important meeting, and I hope that member states will be ready to take their responsibilities in both sides.
Do you expect the U.S. political situation to be high on the agenda today?
The Gymnich meeting end of August in Budapest?
Well, as I said, we will discuss about what has happened, the positions taken by the Hungarian government, trying to make the difference between the Hungarian government and the country that holds the rotatory presidency. And depending how member states evaluate this, we'll also have to discuss how we continue doing what is expected to be done. I don't know what the member states will say, and that's why I want them to express their point of view. This is my decision. The one who calls for the council meetings is the High Representative. So after listening to all of them, after discussing among us, we have to take a decision.
What's your view on President Biden stepping down from running?
I know that President Biden has decided to step down. I wish the best for the Democratic appointee, the one who will take his place.
How did his presidency shape transatlantic relationships?
Well, the Americans have to decide who they want to be in the White House. And certainly, I'm sure it will be quite an important difference for the transatlantic relationship depending on who is there. But it is the U.S. citizens to decide. I don't want to interfere. I don't think it's our role to go and to tell the Americans what do they have to do or to express preferences for one or the other. In any case, it's not my role.
Mr. Borrell, why do you think it's a good idea to call in ministers in the time of the summit in Budapest in August? Is it democratic?
I already said we will discuss about it and I will take a decision.
What about